Johannes, position of strength at half-time. How have Norwich found a way to lose that game?
It's a good question, and I'm not sure I can give you the exact answer to that, because I think there's many explanations. I think it's there's some individual things in it, there's some collective things in it. There's probably also an understanding of what it takes to win a game when you're not on top, because of course that was what we saw in the second half, that we didn't get off to a good start, even though we have a big chance a couple of minutes into the second half where Borja should slide Emi in and then hopefully score the third one. But a game can change within a split second. That was probably what we saw today.
Even bearing that in mind, at 2-0 up after the hour, 3 goals in 12 minutes, how alarming is it for you to watch your team collapse in that way in front of their home fans? How alarming was it to see that all unravel?
Yeah, but I actually think that, after that situation I just mentioned in the second half, I think we got too passive. So I think we could see it coming in some way. So we tried to adjust already after a couple of 5-7 minutes into second half, and with the players who was on pitch, to see if we could change the game picture a little bit. It was not like they were creating any chances or any real dangerous, situations, but it was too easy for them to deliver crosses and create some of those moments. So I think that's, you're asking me how alarming it is. Of course it is, when you can see 3 in such a short spell in the second half where you should be on top. But I think when I watch the goals back, I think it's more dealing with the situations in a game where that's mentality to just deal with it. We need. I still don't understand why we let the ball bounce so many times in the box instead of just getting rid of it and making sure that that situation is over. But it's damn hard sometimes to train those moments, because it's also it's a character thing, it's a personality thing, and it's probably also an understanding thing of what does it actually take to get 3 points in a championship game.
Their manager has come in here and praised the mentality of his side. Norwich have conceded 30 points from winning positions. Would you be concerned about the mindset, the mentality of your group, that they continually throw away winning positions?
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, I think that the mentality thing, and not something on their coach, because obviously I haven't heard what he said, but I think that's something you go to when you cannot really find what it really was in the game. Then you think, okay, it's something with the mentality. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be other things. I think, there's also something in our game. Why do we allow them to come into the final third? Why do we allow that we have to defend set pieces? Why do we allow that we have to defend crosses? Is that a mentality thing? Maybe. It can also be a positional thing or tactical thing or something else. I think if we have to stay on the road where we think it's mentality, I think it's the understanding of what it takes to win, and being aware that we cannot always in a game be on top. We have to understand that there will be moments where we're not on top. There will be moments where we simply just have to put on the fight that is needed. And that was probably what we saw today, because we were on top in first half. And so why should the confidence drop just because of a first half going into a second half? Why should the mentality shift from a first half to a second half?
So was that a victory for Sheffield Wednesday's heart? Because they showed a lot of fight. Was that a victory for doing what needs to be done, finding a way?
Yeah, but again, I should not comment too much on Sheffield Wednesday. They have their own way of playing football and their own way of doing things. I don't know what their coach will highlight for them. I don't know what kind of football he wants to play, or I can see it today. And of course, there's differences in the way that we as a team approach the game compared to how they approach the game. I'm not saying anything is better than other things, but I'm saying that there is a difference. So I don't know what he want to praise. It's of course, you tend to remember the last part of the football game a little bit better than the first part of it, because the first part of it we're completely on top and we play some outstanding football and score some beautiful goals out there. But of course, it's followed up by a second half that is not at all on the same level, and that's the things that we keep on touching, because it's not good enough. And I'm tired of those goals that we concede where, it comes from all those second and third and fourth situations in the box where we just have to get rid of it. Is that a mentality thing? Is that a big heart thing? I tend to say it's a football thing.
And last one for me, as a group, how accountable are you and the coaches for what's happened, and how accountable are the players? I mean, what I'm trying to say is, could you have done anything different when
Of course.
things were unravelling?
Of course we could. Of course, that's how it is. So I think everyone is accountable for good results and bad results. That's how it is. I don't think that ever you can sit down and say, okay, it was only because of one player, it was only because of one coach that you get a result. That's how I see it, and that's how I will always see it. Like I said, we tried to change something after 5-7 minutes in second half to see if we can be more aggressive. We didn't succeed, and then we had to do some substitutions. Unfortunately, based on just another corner kick where they scored, because we prepared it a little bit before that. And that's sometimes a part of it. Sometimes you can change, sometimes you can try to get better in the things that you have prepared, and sometimes there's a third and a fourth and a fifth solution.
What have you said to your players at the final whistle? What messages?
No, not too much today, because it's I think if I go in there and speak too much, I think I speak, it's my own frustrations, it's my own feelings, and I don't think, based on what happened the last 20 minutes out there, I don't think that my words would really stick, or that they will take them in and remember them. I think that's something we have to do tomorrow morning when we see each other again.
And obviously the reaction inevitably from the ones who are here in the ground, not happy, clearly, and you can understand that frustration. The home fans.
Yeah, of course. I'm not happy, and the players are not happy, and everyone should not be happy. I'll be kind of disappointed if someone who supports Norwich is happy.
But clearly, this is now becoming a bit of a pattern, isn't it? It's certainly at Carrow in the last few games. You've mapped it out tonight. There's these situations continually reoccurring, and as you say, it maybe mentality is just a catch-all term. But if it's not mentality, then it's players making the same errors all the time. How does that stop? Change the players?
That's too easy to just go down that road. I think, you also sometimes, when you've just witnessed something that is not in your favor, then you tend to say, okay, yeah, it's always going to be like that. It was not the case when we played Oxford the other day. It was a, like I said many times, it was a game we should win 9 out of 10 times. It was not the case the last time we played at home, where we beat Stoke and was on top in many ways. So I think it's been not a pattern, but something that have happened sometimes here at home this season, and that's of course, it probably tells us where we are as a group, where we are in the development of this team, and tells me that we are not good enough to compete for the top positions in the league, but we are, in performance and in results and in many things that we do, we are probably mid-table.
Which is where it's shaping up at the moment. I mean, you clearly were trying to get those subs on just at the point they scored the second goal. Again, hindsight is not your gift in the game, but did you not feel that the momentum from that pretty much the start of the second half was heading in that direction, and maybe get some subs on a bit sooner?
Yeah, we were thinking that, but then of course there was some moments in the game where it changed a little bit. Like I said, we should probably score to 3-0 before it turns out being the game that it was in second half, and we tried to adjust something on pitch to see if that could be the first solution, and then of course we could see that it was probably not enough, and then we prepared some substitutions, and like I said, unfortunately they just score on the corner kick just straight before that, which is unfortunate for us and for everyone, but that's how it is. Then it's still 2-2, and there's still, I don't know, 20 minutes to go from there, where we could chase and score the third one and make sure that it's still a good result for us. But there was many ways and many things that in the second half of the game was obviously not good.
Just clarify, what was your thought process there with Sargent tonight, just managing his load, his minutes?
Yeah. The only thing or only reason behind that, because it's we have seen, unfortunately, that when he is in a heavy game load and a busy schedule, then there is a risk, and we saw that in the early part of the season, where we lost him to injuries, and we just have to make sure the best way we can that it will not happen again.
As you say, it's very hard at the moment to sort of get past the sense of how that game's got away from you. But that first half, a lot of good things, a lot of things you can build on.
Yeah, of course. But it's it's not what is important for me tonight. I think it's important to just, of course, underline that none of us is satisfied with this, and underline that none of us is hoping for a result and a second half like this on a Tuesday night here at our home ground, because we, everything we try to do, we try to make sure that we can play some offensive-minded football, we can score some goals, and we can get some good results when we get out there. But we of course, based on this and based on some of the other games that we have played, need to understand what it takes to win those games. Because again, I don't think, but it doesn't matter that we should lose a game like we lost tonight, especially based on all the good stuff that went on in the first half. But the fact is that we lost it, and the fact is that we dropped points the other night when we played here at home in a game where it's a little bit of the same in many ways. So that's a big thing for us, and it probably starts with understanding what it takes to win a game when you're not on top. That's how I see it. Just to dig deep, to support each other even better, to run those final meters when you have to track back, win first contacts in the box, do all of this stuff. That is not, when we prepare the game, exactly how we want to play it, but we understand that it is a part of the game, and in that part of the game we're simply not good enough.
Johannes.
Thanks, Paddy. Cheers, everybody.